Motion Array promises to be a one-stop shop for all of the creative assets that you need to create a video, but do they actually deliver, or is it not worth your money? I've used it in my own projects, and there's some areas where they're really strong and also some areas that need some work. So this is my unsponsored opinion. One huge strong point for Motion Array is their asset curation. The site has music, sound effects, video templates, graphics, motion graphics, presets, footage, LUTs, photos, plugins, and an AI voiceover tool. And out of all of these, I've never found a single one that I honestly wouldn't consider professional or wouldn't consider using in my own projects. Now, there is another side to this. There really isn't as much quantity as some of their competitors like Envato or Storyblocks that have millions upon millions of assets, but in my experience, this simply means that you're digging through less garbage to find an asset to use in your own projects. That said, Motion Array is very much focused on like video editing and content creation, where if you're a graphic designer, you're probably going to be better off going with Envato, because while Motion Array does have some things like mock-ups and icons that you could use in graphic design, Envato has a larger quantity of that stuff, plus things like web templates that also might come in handy. Motion Array's music and sound effects are interesting. They're much higher quality than what you'll find on Envato or Storyblocks, the direct competitors, but they're lower quality than what you'll find on music-focused sites like Artlist or Epidemic Sound. I think it's a decent happy medium if you want all of the other assets that Motion Array provides, but if you're coming from one of those music-focused sites, you'll miss a lot of the user interface tools and features that are common over there. Even things as simple as a Find Similar feature or pre-curated playlists aren't present on Motion Array. That said, all of the basics of the UI are solid, and you can search for music using filters, although some of these, like the video theme and instrument filters, have pretty sparse selections. All of Motion Array's tracks are royalty-free, so you won't have to worry about copyright claims, but unlike Artlist or Epidemic Sound, there's no way to permanently whitelist your YouTube channel. Instead, if you happen to get a copyright claim, you'll have to paste a link to the video in Motion Array's Content ID claim page and manually clear it. This means it's more important to upload your videos as unlisted before publishing and give it a little bit of time to see whether a Content ID claim pops up. That way you'll have time to clear the video through Motion Array's system in the unlikely event that a claim does occur. In my opinion, Motion Array's strongest categories are their graphics and templates. They have a ton of graphics like stickers, overlays, and infographics, as well as thousands of editable video templates and animated titles for all of the major editing softwares, including DaVinci Resolve. That said, After Effects users are going to benefit from the most quantity here, as with any site, so if you edit using the Adobe suite, you won't be disappointed. I do personally find some of the instructions on the downloadable templates kind of hard to understand though. Maybe it's just me because I don't really know a whole lot about After Effects and designing motion graphics, but I find it really hard to pick up an entire After Effects project having not been the person who built it. Now, since I am less experienced than other editors when it comes to animation and motion elements, Motion Array's motion graphics category is an absolute godsend for me. The assets here are basically just animated icons or overlays that you can add right on top of your footage in any editing software without having to deal with all the other properties that you have to adjust in the templates. The customization on these assets is next to nothing. It's much more limited, but it is just plug and play, which is so awesome. Overall, I think that this is the most accessible way to get started with motion graphics and adding some animations to your projects. And I'm really glad that Motion Array has a large selection of this type of thing because I use them. Quickly, I want to go over some other things before I dive into my thoughts on the site as a whole. Motion Array's LUTs are now on their own page, which is great, and these are cool LUTs. If you use LUTs, you're not going to be disappointed. Their AI voiceover tool works really well, and it's a great addition to the site if you use text-to-speech tools in your workflow. Their stock footage is awesome. You'll find a lot of the same shots on Artlist Max, and their photos are good too. Although, if you are going to find some assets that are lower quality than others, you're going to find it in these two categories. Finally, their plugins feature a bunch of special effects like light flares, film grain, and even digital fire. All of these are integrated directly into your editor, and they can be dragged and dropped right onto your footage, which is a neat workflow. However, a lot of these tools I personally would never really use, and plenty of the other ones are just built into editing softwares like DaVinci and Final Cut and Premiere already. So honestly, I don't think that the plugins are a huge selling point. Now let's talk about price. Motion Array offers 3 different licenses. One for just video templates and graphics, one for only the AI voiceover, and one that includes everything. All of these plans provide you a license to use these assets in any production, from like a small YouTube video all the way up to a Hollywood movie, although there are a few elements like photos and videos that are for editorial use only. You can't use them for commercial. These are marked clearly on the site and you can filter them out if you don't want them. The video templates plan is actually an intriguing option to me because you can kind of combine that with a music and sound effects only service like Epidemic Sound or Artlist. But at $25 a month, the everything deal is really not all that bad. It's situated in between Envato and Storyblocks in terms of price. So the only question left is, over Envato, what are you getting with Motion Array for the extra money? I have a full rundown of this, comparing and contrasting these two sites, and you can watch it right up over here if you're interested.